non-living, that is the abiotic components such as water, carbon dioxide, nutrients in the soil, and chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight to produce their food, that is carbohydrate, and also release oxygen to the atmosphere. That is the plant in its interaction with the plant, which is a biotic component, in its interaction with the non-living things, that is the abiotic, such as water. The biotic interacts, that is the plant interacts with the non-living things such as water, carbon dioxide, nutrients in the soil, chlorophyll, and then sunlight. All these are abiotic to produce their food and also release oxygen to the atmosphere. Animals then, which are biotic in nature, which are the biotic components of the ecosystem, feed on these carbohydrates on plants and release carbon dioxide for the plants to make use of. That is, I'm explaining the interaction between the biotic and then with the abiotic components of the ecosystem, that is the non-living thing. Microorganisms and other decomposers break down dead plants and animals and animal dung to release nutrients to the soil, which are absorbed by the plants to produce food. Now, we'll now be going to the types of interactions we have, the types of interactions that we have among the terrestrial and aquatic agro-ecosystem. The first one is a mono or sole cropping system, which is a cropping system where only one type of crop is grown on a piece of land at a particular period. That is, if this is a plot of land, that is, if you're having a plot of land, what we are going to plant is only one crop. If you are planting maize, we are not going to plant any other crop on that piece of land. That is, if you are having a piece of land, if you are planting maize, you place only maize. If you are planting cassava, you plant only cassava. You don't allow any other thing to grow on that land. Monocropping is usually practiced on large-scale farms, where cash crop or food crops such as oil palm, cocoa, rubber, rice, cassava are grown. The crop interacts with the environment in the following ways. The first one is crops absorb nutrients and water from the soil. The crop takes in carbon dioxide from the air in the atmosphere to carry out photosynthesis, and then the crop releases oxygen. That is, it releases oxygen into the atmosphere during respiration, and then the microorganisms act on plant residue to release nutrients to the soil. The second type of interaction between the abiotic and the biotic is a mixed cropping system. The mixed cropping system is a cropping system which involves the cultivation of two or more crops, such as maize, cassava, cowpea, on a piece of land at the same time during the same growing season. These crops are mixed together on the same piece of land. Just like now, if you have a piece of land and you do this interrow cropping, that is, you plant maize and then you plant your cassava, or you plant maize and then plant cowpea. That is, you are mixing it. That's a mixed cropping system. The crop interacts with the environment in the following ways. That is, the mixed cropping system interacts with the environment in the following ways. Crops absorb nutrients and water from the soil, yes. Then it takes in carbon dioxide from the air in the atmosphere to carry out photosynthesis. Crop releases oxygen into the atmosphere during respiration. Then the leguminous crops like cowpea, for example, cowpea is capable of adding nutrients to the soil, nutrients like nitrogen. Then the fifth one is microorganisms act on the plant residue to release nutrients to the soil. Then we have the third one. The third interaction is a mixed farming. A mixed farming is a simultaneous cultivation of crops and rearing of animals on the same piece of land or farm. The biotic and the abiotic components of the ecosystem interact in the following ways. The plant absorbs nutrients and water from the soil for growth and also to produce food. B. The plants make use of sunlight in the environment to make their food through the process of photosynthesis. The plants serve as food for the animals. And then the plant takes in carbon dioxide and releases oxygen into the atmosphere. While the animal takes in oxygen, releases oxygen in the atmosphere, that is oxygen in the air in the atmosphere, which the plant also releases, and then releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere for use by the plant. The plant, mind you, the plant takes in carbon dioxide and releases oxygen that the animals can use, while the animal takes in oxygen and releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere that the plants can make use of in the production of their food or carbohydrate. Then the fifth one is the animal dungs and droppings and the dead plants are used as organic manure to improve soil fertility for crops. And then the fourth interaction is the fish pond. This is an aquatic environment where fishes live and grow and also are harvested for food and other commercial purposes. The biotic and the abiotic components interact in the following ways. The water serves as habitat for the fishes. The fishes feed on planktons, which are autotroph, that is, they are capable of producing their own food. The planktons are like plants. C, the fishes releases carbon dioxide, which are used by the planktons, and then the planktons releases oxygen, which are used by the fishes. Can you now see that there are interaction between the biotic components of the fish pond? Now, as they are interacting, they are also interacting with the abiotic components of the ecosystem. The dead remains and dung of the fishes serve as manure for the microscopic plant, that is the plankton, in the water. Then the fifth interaction is the forest or rainforest or savanna. The forest or savanna are large expanses of land containing varieties of plant and animal living and interacting together in a terrestrial environment. The biotic and abiotic components of the ecosystem interact in the following ways. The plant absorbs nutrients and water from the soil for growth and also to produce food. The plant makes use of sunlight in the environment to make their food through the process of photosynthesis. The animal feed on plants to obtain their food. The fourth one is that the plant takes in carbon dioxide and releases oxygen into the atmosphere, while the animal takes in oxygen and releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The animal dungs and droppings are used as organic manure to improve the fertility of the soil. And then the composition of animals, dead animals and dead plants also add nutrients to the soil. Now we'll be looking at a revision question. What is agricultural ecology? 2. Explain the divisions of ecology. 3. Define ecosystem. And then the fourth one is list 3 biotic factors and 3 abiotic factors. Now, answer. The answer to the first question, which is what is agricultural ecology? Agricultural ecology is the study of crops and animals in relation to their environment. Now, the second question is explain the division of ecology. Now we have 2 divisions. We have the horticology and then the synecology. The horticology is concerned with the study of individual organisms and its environment, while synecology is concerned with the study of the relationship between the different species that form a community and their interaction with the surrounding environment. For example, the aquatic life in the ocean. We have the fishes, we have we have different types of animals in the ocean. We have the whale, we have the shark, different types. You also have hippopotamus, you see it there, and then different types of animals. The crocodile also, you find them there, and then some forms, some types of snakes that live in water. Now, the third question. Okay, before going to the third question, I would like to give an example of horticology, just like the study of a single rabbit and its environment, or a a laying table, a hen and its environment. You can pick a hen or a cock or a cockerel or a broiler and its environment. You can study it, study how it feeds, study how it relates to its environment, how it interacts with its environment. That is an example of horticulture. Now, the third question is define ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of its environment, interacting as a system. Then the fourth question is list 3 biotic factors and 3 abiotic factors. Here we are being asked to list. If it had been that they asked us to state, we list and then explain. But here we are being asked to list. Biotic factors include plants, animals, bacteria, fungi. Those are the key factors that plays key role in the biotic component of the ecosystem. Now, the abiotic factor include the climatic factor, which may be water, sunlight, or wind. Then we have the inorganic materials and nutrients such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. And then we have the edaphic factors such as soil, rocks, and topography.